Good afternoon to one and all present here today. A very, very warm welcome to today's session that we are conducting here. A little bit of background before I introduce our guests on the panel today. We've been working on this project for almost a year now, and the seed for what we are going to discuss today was sown last year in the IC3 conference itself, where Dr. Sayam Bharadwaj was there. He's the controller examinations. I will be formally welcoming him a little later, where he was there to give away the certificates to the IC3 Institute pass-outs, graduates last year. And that is when we started talking about the students coming out of the system of CBSE, getting some better traction from all the universities from around the world. And especially, we were talking about the US universities because that's where most of our children aspire to go if we look at in terms of numbers. And I spoke to Swaraj about it, and there we started working on the project, pulling a lot of people into the conversations, and we have some of us who are working on the project present here today. And we would be very happy to discuss what we have discussed so far, share our bit of conversations and discussions with you. Some of the work, we've decided to phase it out. Some of the work in phase 1 has already been done, and we've divided the work into 3 phases. And the 2 other phases will be, starting. The work on the other 2 phases will be starting very soon. And we would be very happy if you all are interested in knowing more about the project, the progress that we make, or you wish to contribute in the project. So at the end of the session, there would be a QR code, and there would be a form that you could, a short form that you could fill out, and we would keep you informed, and we would also include you in our discussions and in our project further. So thank you so much for showing your interest in this session. I would formally like to welcome Dr. Sayam Bharadwaj. He is the Controller of Examinations CBSE in India. CBSE is the largest board of education in India. In India, education is essentially a subject which is on the concurrent list, both which is state governed and center governed. And there are a lot of state boards, but the maximum number of students and the schools are with CBSE, and Dr. Bharadwaj will be sharing with us the details of how many students are there in these schools. He has a rich experience of about 33 years in schools, in teaching, and in open and distance education, along with being the controller at the CBSE. And he is responsible for holding the examinations for classes 10th and 12th. Every year, these assessments are for about 3.6 million of students, which take place in India and abroad. And Dr. Bharadwaj, having conducted the assessments of 19.6 million students so far. He has a doctorate in education and also a postgraduate in physics, electronics, education and educational management. And he has published several research papers in India and abroad. His projects have been included in providing education through both open and distance education in Afghanistan for Afghanistan. We welcome you, sir, as a panelist. A big round of applause for him, please. Dr. Bharadwaj is joined by Michelle Whittingham. Thank you, ma'am, for being here. She's also been working on the project for a long time now. She's the Associate Vice Chancellor, Enrollment Management, University of California, Santa Cruz, US. Ms. Michelle began her career in enrollment management in 1994, and she has served as the Associate Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Management at UC Santa Cruz since 2007, working with full campus community, that is staff, faculty, students, alumni, administration, to engage students, families, educators, and communities locally and globally in college search and selection process. Thank you, ma'am, for actively working in this project and for bringing it to everyone else today. I also welcome Dr. Jay Shankar Raman. He's the Director of International Programs, California State University, Office of Chancellor, US. As the Director, he oversees the system-wide study abroad program for the California State University CSU IP runs programs in 18 countries and 60 universities. And prior to joining CSU, Dr. Raman was the Assistant Provost for International Affairs at Valparaiso University and a Professor of Economics. Thank you, sir, for being on this panel today and for sharing with us your thoughts on the project that we are all in. And not to forget to mention Swaraj Nandan, who is the energy and the force behind this project. Thank you, Swaraj, for always being there and for being the mover and the shaker for this particular project. So I would now invite Dr. Bharadwaj to share with us and decode the CBSE mark sheet for all of us.
Thank you, Jyoti ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone. It is my proud privilege to be over here today because of Mr. Ganesh and Mr. Swaraj and everyone sitting on the dais over here, because the project which we have taken, not the project, but the services, basically, I would say. Now, because I am looking after the conduct of examination, and I thought that which could be the manner where we can support to our students to get the better and better education. Though as far as the country is concerned, I would certainly say about my country that there is a thrust on the education, not now, but from very beginning only. And India is considered as one of the gurus, I would say, who is leading as far as education is concerned. No, first of all, one request which I would like to make, I feel that Mr. Swaraj will listen to me and will communicate it to Mr. Ganesh, that today Mr. Ganesh has requested that people should volunteer for his mission, which he has taken in the form of ICT 3. So one of the representative is over here, who will support this mission in the individual capacity, and I am with you all always, not only for this thing, but for any mission of the ICT 3. So in the form of one small presentation, I'll just brief you about a family which is consisting of more than how many we are having now? 27,000 plus schools. So all the schools which are affiliated to the board, that is the family of our board. And I am just going to introduce this family in terms of this small presentation, which will let you know that what CBSE is doing, and how many students are being catered to by the CBSE. Can I have one cordless mic, please? Sir, this is the clicker for you. This will work. Yeah, so this is about one overview about this board. I would say replace the overview with the introduction of the family, because very, very important family as far as India is concerned. Now, see, it is the Formal Education Board which came into existence in 1929. with only 29 schools. Okay, this is the pace-setting national board of the country. Why I am saying so? Because Jyoti ma'am has told you that education is the on the concurrent part of the Constitution of India list, and therefore both the state and national government or the central government are having the say in the education, and we are the part and parcel of the central government, Government of India. Now, it provides the quality education to promote intellectual, social, and cultural vivacity amongst its learners. We are going much ahead of this also, because when we have to see for the future need of the nation, future need of the globe, we have to go for many other new things also. And in the new education policy, we have taken care of each and everything. Now, it was established in 1929. Then in 1952, its name was changed to Central Board of Secondary Education, and thereafter, in 1962, it was reconstituted and shifted its headquarters from Ajmer to Delhi. So this is the time when we started a new journey with the new schools, with the extended family, and we have taken care of almost all the areas of the school education. Now, our first chairman was Dr. Zakir Hussain also. He was the chairman from 1952 to 57. Thereafter, he was the vice president of India and the president of India also. So this I am sharing that how old this organization is, and how I am fortunate that I am looking after some work of this organization under the work which has been done by the Dr. Zakir Hussain. He was a known educationist. He was the vice chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University. He was the part and parcel of several education missions which have been introduced by the country. And today, the country has been shaped because of the ideas and the thrust given by these people as far as the school education and the higher education is concerned. Now, the main responsibility of the board is to conduct the board's examination, secondary and senior secondary classes, then to grant the affiliation to the schools in India and abroad for the purpose of conduct of examination basically, to develop curriculum and syllabi for the purpose of conduct of board examination, to develop a standard for ensuring quality in its affiliated schools, and to undertake professional development of teachers and organize students' enrichment programs also. So whatever is required, we are trying that not only to the students, but to the schools, to the teachers in the field of curriculum, we should contribute. And because we are the people who are basically working on the ground, and therefore the kind of information which we are getting from the ground services, we are trying it to build in or to take into the policy for the Government of India. Now, as on date, we are having more than 27,849 schools in 27 countries. I would say one thing very proudly, that not only in the English rules, but in our rules also, there is no sunset. We are having these schools from the Japan, we are having these schools up to the Ghana. So every time when I have to conduct the examination, there is a daytime only. So that kind of spreaded we are. The another thing which I am saying for my organization, I am always saying that two things you will find in the each and every family of our country. One is the CBSE student. Okay, one student, one child would be studying in the CBSE board. And the another one is the Tata salt. It is very famous. Tata is very, very big industrialist in our country. And selling the salt for him was not the business. It was how the name of the Tata will reach to each and every home. Therefore, he started making the salt and provided in each and every house in our country. Now, we are having a very big number of teachers and lot of students. I told you, consider the number of families, and one child from each family is the part and parcel of the CBSE. Now, growth of these schools, you can see from 1929, we have 29, and today we have 27,849 schools. So growth of our schools is more than 10% every year. Now the schools are coming to us, and we are saying no to them also, because we wanted to provide a quality services. We want that we should have the watch on each and every activity of our schools, the quality of education, and therefore what need to be done from our side. We are taking all the actions, developing ourselves also, and to our institutions, to our students, to our teachers. Now, category of schools, basically in India, we are having different kind of schools. First of all, the biggest chunk, one quality of the board I would just like to share with you, that we are the autonomous organization. We can do anything else. We have unbounded powers to take care of the health of our school education. So the same thing has been handed over by us to our schools. They are free to take care of anything the way they want it, the way they want to run their schools, the new practices, new experiments, everything are allowed. Most of the, lot of principals are over here. They can raise their hand and just support to me that no, they are really having the autonomy, but no hand is over there. Yeah. Now many hands are there. So we are having some 4,615 government and government-aided schools. Then we are having the Kendriya Vidyalaya schools also. These are 1,222. Then we are having the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. These are 632 in numbers. And Central Tibetan School Association schools, we are having the 15 And we are having some 266 schools spread over in 27 countries across the globe. Now the structure of the organization is that we are having the school education secretary, who is coming under the Minister of Education, Government of India. The school education secretary is the controlling authority of the board, and thereafter we are having the governing body. Many principals of our schools are the part and parcel of our governing body. Many other educational institutions who are working in other fields, they are the part and parcel of our governing body, and they are advising to us. Then thereafter we are having the statutory committees, subcommittees of the governing bodies, and their recommendations are placed before the governing board. So why I am sharing this thing, that no one person sitting on one seat is taking the decision, but there is a consultative system where we are getting the voice and listening to the others, and then we are making the changes in our policy. Now our statutory committees are, two are very, very important: examination committee and curriculum committee. Affiliation committee is also very important committee. As far as the education is concerned, these three committees are very, very important. But thereafter we are having the finance committee, then skill education committee, training advisory committee, and advisory committee on special exams. Because Government of India is giving many exams to us. Prior to 2018, we were assigned the responsibility to conduct the All India Pre-Medical Pre-Dental Entrance Examination, or the NEET examination, which is specially meant for the admission in MBBS courses. Then the AIEEE examination for the admission in engineering colleges, then the CTT, teacher eligibility test, and many more examinations have been assigned to CBSE from time to time by the Government of India, by the individual organizations also, because of our expertise in the conduct of assessment. Now the examination committee is the committee which is taking the decisions about the conduct of examination, or about the assessment of the students, that which way we have to go. And especially I would like to thank from this platform to my examination committee, who had assisted the board in carrying out the assessment of the students in 2020 and 2021, which were the pandemic years. And because of their help, we were able to successfully declare the results. A lot of work has been done by our schools and our teachers. My thanks to them from this platform. Now we are having the 16 regional offices. Now we are going to have the 17th regional office also in Visakhapatnam. Why it is so? Because many state governments are coming to us and they are saying that no, take over all these schools. So recently we have got the proposal from the Andhra Pradesh. They are saying that take all 46,000 schools, but we are going only with 1,000 schools, and therefore we are having another regional office. And the work of the regional offices to coordinate with the schools, planning and conduct of examination, and support services to the schools and the students. So very big work is being done by our regional offices. And we are having the full-fledged regional offices, having our own buildings, own staff, very creative staff, very capable staff. Now, what students are taught and assessed, that we are having the curriculum which is framed by the National Council for Education and Research and Training. This is an organization of the Government of India, which is the statutory organization given the responsibility to prepare the curriculum for the need of the country, for the need of our humanity. Now, thereafter, this curriculum is transacted by the schools independently. We are not having any rules and regulation how to control them on this issue. We are giving the free hand to them so that the curriculum transition is taking place without any bias, with the quality and as per the requirement. Now, thereafter, we are conducting the assessment in the month of February, and this assessment goes on for nearly 52 days, which is a very long period, and thereafter some improvement examinations are also conducted by the board. Now, see that we are offering some 114 courses as far as class 12th is concerned, and 75 courses in class 10th or secondary, I would say. And we are having no combination of subjects. Even with the one language, they can offer physics, chemistry, Kathak dance, and music like that only. So there is no bar that only one particular combination is to be adopted or to be offered by them. They can go as per their wish and will. And then after nearly 40,000 combinations, we are preparing a day sheet which goes up to 51 days. And without any conflict, all the students are able to appear in the examination. Now, I am just giving you one small comparison that India, we are having the CBSE, and the Council for the Indian School Certificate Examination is another organization which is conducting the examination for the class 10th and 12th. And then at international level, generally, we are having the International IB and the Cambridge International. Now, see the presence, what I have come to know from the web world, that IB is having some 5,500 schools, 185 and 146, that is 331 in India. Cambridge is having 10,000 schools across 160 countries and 400 in India. ICSE is having 2,341 schools in India, and CBSE is having 27,849 schools in India and 27 countries. It is not 26, 27 countries. So this is the presence. See the number of students who are being taught and taken care by the CBSE. Now we are offering the class 1 to 8. This is taken care by the schools itself based on the NCERT syllabus generally. Then we are having the secondary, senior secondary classes, 9th, 10th and 11th, 12th. These are the 2 years program. Second is 2-year program, and 12th is also the 2-year program. All the courses are offered in English medium. And here I would just like to share with you that our students, if taken together, who are being taught in English, so this entire number is more than the number of several other countries who are the English speaking, and therefore I would say that our students are very, very perfect one as far as the language is concerned. And from last 2-3 years, I am coming in touch with the professors and the representative of the different universities who are coming to Delhi for the admission of the boards students, CBSE students. They are saying that they are doing a wonderful work when they are going and joining the courses in the foreign universities. Now, this is the scheme of studies which I shared with you, that they can offer any subject with anyone. Now, assessment by CBSE, we are conducting the practical examination from January. Exams are conducted from 15th of February. Then multiple assessment activities like project, portfolio, and subject enrichment activities are done by the schools during the entire year. Then evaluation is done on fictitious roll number at Nodal Evaluation Center. We are doing the assessment. Why I am sharing so that when the assessment is going on, no one knows that whose copy is this one. My both son and daughter had appeared in the examination, but I was unable to see their answer sheet, and that kind of secrecy is over there. Now, result is declared by the June 2nd week. but every year we are trying to break our own records. And for the first time in the history of the CBSE, we have declared both the results on the same day, that is 22nd of July. Though it is very, very difficult to work on the preparation of the result, but because you can just imagine multiply the students with the 6.5 number of subjects offered, and then two pockets in each and every subject, and these many pockets are being filled in, and thereafter the result is prepared and declared. Now, one most important thing which I would like to share, that is the grading of our students, which we are doing. This is the relative grading. All the students who are appearing in the examination, the pass students, first 1/8 of the pass students are given the A1 grade, second 1/8 students are giving the A2 grade, then B1 grade, B2 grade, like that only. So when I am saying that A1 grade is given, so it means that they are the topmost students. They are perfect, almost perfect in their subject, though certainly no one is perfect if I am saying for the physics or for any subject, because we have to go far away. But on the scale on which we are measuring to them or assessing them, on that particular scale, they are nearly perfect. Now, this only small example I am giving you over here. Say in one subject, if 1.5 million students are appearing, 18,750 would be placed in the topmost student. They would be given the A1 bracket, and that would be their grade. Like that, if the number of students are lesser in these subjects, so less number of students would be over there. Say in the next subject we have taken 25,000, so only 3,125 students will be given the grade. So these are the topmost students in each and every subject. Now, during the examination or evaluation also, we are doing a very, very difficult job for our teachers. Lot of checking, rechecking is being done so that assessment is of qualitative nature, and there is no ambiguity, no problem at all. Lot of work is being done as far as the evaluation of the answer books are concerned, because when we are having 2 million of answer books, these are to be evaluated with a very large number of teachers. So we are ensuring that there should not be any mistake and everything should be done perfectly. Now, number of student enrichment activities are also being done by the CBSE, which are required by the government, which are required by us, which are required because of the prevailing circumstances in the country or in a particular area also. So, lot of special programs are being offered, and our number, the participant number always remains so big that we have to count that how many zeros are over there. Now, Hall of Fame, as far as the CBSE students are concerned, many principals of ours are the alumni of the CBSE. Okay, at international level, at national level, go, like we used to say that our Sikh community will meet in each and every country. I would say certainly that CBSE student will also be there in each and every country. And they will be almost in all the areas. Say, industry people are over there, academia people are over there, politics people are over there, research and sports and film industry people are over there, and almost in all the area. I would share one more thing, that today, my chairperson is also the alumni of the CBSE only. So it is, nothing could be better that the alumni of the board is becoming the chairman of the same board from where she or he has passed her or his class 10th or 12th examination. Now, the mission was that how our students can get the better place in the academia or for the higher education across the world. Because I feel that now the entire world is the family, so why they should be denied the opportunity to go and have the better education. So my 3 requests were over there from the participants of the international universities, representative over here, that first of all, our students should be given the exemption from the SET and English efficiency examinations. Why it is so? because board is one. Board is conducting the examination of all 27,000 plus schools across the nation and 26 countries abroad. The second one is because they are studying the English nearly 12 years, so they are perfect one. And believe me, I swear, and what I am placing before you, that I have come across many students who are going and appearing in the IELTS examination, and no one is getting the less than 7 or 7.5. So that kind of efficiency or excellency they are having in the subject. Now, the second one is that the credit transfer. Credit transfer, like the IB and Cambridge University students are provided the credit transfer when they are going for the professional courses or the higher education courses in the foreign universities. Why it is so? Because our curriculum is of very high standard. It is equitable to any curriculum. Whatever is required now, we are taking care in the new education policy which has been brought in by the Government of India in 2020. Lot of things are over there, and we are trying our best that our student should not be the citizen of the country, but they should be the global citizen. Okay, so we are preparing them for the global citizenship, and therefore my thought is, my submission is, my request is that they should be provided the credit transfers also. Now, scholarship can also be provided to them, because now I would say India is not the poor country, but it is the poor country as far as the school education is concerned. And when we are comparing it with the other countries, why it is so, I requested for the scholarship that based on the grading given to them, and if they can be provided any scholarship, that is certainly going to assist them initially, but later on the entire globe is going to be benefited when we are providing the education to one child. That education is not only for the family of that particular child, but it is for the entire globe, I would say. Say if I am doing something good over here in India, so it doesn't mean that only Indians are affected. I would say the entire globe is benefited. So for that point of view, my humble request is that they should be provided best of the scholarship, which may assist them in getting the better and better higher education. So this was all about which I wanted to share, and I am really grateful to the ICT3 mission who have invited me and accepted my request to share my views along with all of you, so that this mission is going ahead and ahead, and our students are benefited. Thank you very much.
A little later. So thank you so much, Dr. Bharadwaj, for articulating the CBSE vision, also decoding the grading and the mark system of CBSE. I would like to share with everyone here that the committee had done extensive work on comparing the curriculum of the IB, IGCSE, CBSE, ICSE boards. And we had concluded that the rigor that is there in the CBSE curriculum is, if not equal, a little more than the international boards. So the three demands that Dr. Bharadwaj has articulated very well in this presentation. One is the SAT exemption, and during the pandemic, a lot of universities in the US were SAT optional, SAT optional already. But along with that, we are also requesting that if the mark sheets of the CBSE could be decoded, and they could be, one thing that we had also spoken, that if there could be a pathway that could be created by the CBSE, where the universities could on their own also verify the marks that are being, or the mark sheets that are being submitted by the children, that could be a very good option, and the work could be easier, for the universities. And the second, of course, course, once the rigor is there, then why can't the same system of exemption of the APs can be given to the CBSE children that is already being given to the IB students or to the IGCSE students? And third, of course, where we are asking for the scholarships based on the grading system that Dr. Bharadwaj shared here, that is the A1s and the A2s. These, the children who are getting the A1 in a subject, or the children who are getting 5 A1s on their mark sheet, are really brilliant children. They would study anything that the universities or schools would expect them to study and learn. Thank you so much. And I would now invite Michelle to share her thoughts. Thank you. The clicker is here. You also want this.
Oops, wrong direction. Okay, before I begin, I just have to say, sir, I knew that you had incredible prestige, but I think Arvinda da Silva would be really impressed with this crowd today. So I think there will be lots of pictures for you as well. So it's really wonderful to see everybody here, and it is an absolute honor to be part of this panel. Thank you. So this was such a fascinating process that we've gone through, and it reminds me a lot of the IC3 spirit, you know, like family. And so I think Swaraj pulled several of us together, and I think all of us remained really curious. We're asking these questions like, why are we not getting credit for this? Why can't we do this? And so as opposed to accepting the status quo, we all put our heads together. And so I think it's really important, and I wanted to share a little bit about the scope of the University of California. And so while I'm here from Santa Cruz, I'm representing the entire system today. And I wanted to share a little bit about the system, but then share with you how I approached this work within the University of California system. But when Jyoti ma'am first came to us, actually I was so excited to begin with that I could check off several of her items, because many of you may know that the University of California eliminated all standardized exams for admission purposes a couple of years ago. So I was able to check that off. And then for English proficiency, the fact that the curriculum is in English all 4 years of high school, we could check that one off. So that was really exciting. And then the third one that I was able to check off is the scholarships. At the University of California, the admissions application is a scholarship application, and these are merit scholarships that we offer. And we're constantly looking at the achievement of each student within the context of their opportunities. And so you might see an A2 student, even over an A1 student, get a scholarship, and it's not just their curriculum, it's everything that they share within their application. So I'm happy to have 3 of those 4 completed. And so looking at the system, you can see we are all throughout California. The intent is not to see each and every campus, but we really have several campuses in the northern part, several campuses in the southern part. We have nearly 300,000 students between our undergraduate and our graduate students. The total undergraduate is 231,000. And I was really excited to pull some data because I know when I'm here in India, and I've had such an honor and pleasure visiting here since 2017, which was my first IC3 conference. And really the question we get a lot is, how many Indian students do you have? And we always want to clarify that. Is that international Indian or of Indian descent? So I'm demystifying this for all of you here today. So as an entire system, we have Indian international students, nearly 4,000. And yet, is there a bit of a large community in the state of California of Indian descent? Huge community, especially in the Bay Area. So of Indian descent, of all of our students, almost 17,000 students are of Indian descent. And then you look at the undergraduates, 1,600 international students directly from your schools. And let me tell you, they do incredibly well on our campuses, and they make our campuses a better learning environment. And then of Indian descent at the undergraduate level, 15,000. And so a very, very large Indian influence. So one of the things to keep in mind is I didn't know exactly how this process worked for the University of California. Our faculty oversee all of our educational policies, but I was curious. So I have colleagues up at the Office of the President, similar to Shankar, where you're working at the system-wide level, and I began to send some emails to ask, like, hey, we offer AP, IB, A levels. We promote equity and inclusion and internationalization, preparing global citizens. What does it take? Not why don't we offer this, but what would it take for us to broaden that scope and be more inclusive and more equitable in the awarding of college credit? And so again, just really seeking this out, because for years, we've had many of these different areas. And recently I learned that the Cambridge Assessment of International Education, they also came to the University of California in July, which was a couple of months before we had this. And so I made this inquiry in September. And again, one of the things was, well, what's the scope? So again, any good educator, what do? We want data, right? And so some of the first questions are, let's look at this. And so I know that this will be available online, so you might be able to read it more so, but this was all the grade 10 and 12 exams, which was CBSE and more. And you can see the growth, even from 2020, the 1,800 for those who applied, up to 2,600, almost 2,700 in a 2-year period. So a lot of interest, a lot of growth from your students at the University of California. And then literally, I'm going to fast forward. So by March of this year, our University Committee on Educational Policy was having this discussion, and they wanted to look broadly, not just at CBSE, but exams, international exams in particular. And so I was really excited at the April meeting, and I took this right off of their website, had an email with my colleagues up there, and in April, just recently, they passed a motion to engage exploratory processes with the appropriate office at our Office of the President, the central office. But what I want to point out is the fact that when they made this motion, it was, was this feasible to do? Not only was it, made, it was seconded and unanimously approved. And so not a lot of things within probably any of our institutions are unanimously approved. So I think that spoke volumes. And so this university committee is going to be working with the staff at the Office of the President and really beginning this formal work in October of this year to explore the policies. And I will continue to push this because it's very much in this theme of IC3 this year, access, equity, and inclusion. And so students across all 27 countries deserve, if their curriculum is on par with the others, they absolutely deserve to have that opportunity. So again, such a pleasure. And I think we're doing good on times.
Thank you, Michelle. I would now request Dr. Jay Shankar Raman to share with us the work that he has led at the California State University on the project.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Sayamji, you talked about Tata Salt and CBSE. Unfortunately, in my house, there was only Tata Salt. I was not a CBSE graduate. But I was the recipient of comparisons with a lot of CBSE students. Many Indians will understand that very well. But it is certainly a pleasure to be here representing the Chancellor's Office in California State University. One of the things that I want to share with you is that it's the largest public university in the United States, with nearly 500,000 students, with about 55,000 faculty, and a budget of about $8.3 billion. So this is a very large university system with a very unique purpose in ensuring that it educates citizens of California and others. So we have 23 campuses, and I'll come back to that in a second. Our students come from a very diverse background, and many of them are first-generation students. They've never had an opportunity in their families to go to colleges. So the notion that the idea that Michelle mentioned in terms of access, equity, and inclusion is part of our DNA. And I find that to be true even in how CBSE pursues this. It's not the exclusive elite private schools. It's all schools, equal education, equal access. And so that's something that we always provide. We also have non-traditional students, so the outside of the age bracket of, say, 17 and 25, students that are working, students that have families, and so on. So it's a very diverse group of students and their families as well. Two things that I want to point out here, and I'll start with the bottom part of it, which is the gender distribution of our students. A large number of students, majority of our students are women. And this is something that we do take great pride in ensuring that there is equal access. 88.5% of our students are undergraduate. So from a mission perspective, the California State University system, you have the UCs at the level of what we call as Research 1 universities with specific faculties and departments. And then you have the CSUs, which is our universities where the explicit purpose is to ensure that you develop skills and provide education and teaching. And then you have the community college, which, by the way, you need to go to the next session after this one, where some of our colleagues from California are talking about the community college system. And that's why we are largely undergraduate in our operations. We are also very, my graph is kind of missing over here. Can you take my face off from there, please? I think they've seen enough of me. Oh, no, not that. There you go. No? Maybe not. Okay, no problem. No, anyway, so we are a majority minority university. There is no single group that dominates outside of the. You find that there is a large group of students, and again, Thank you. So this is something, at some point that will change. The very top part of it will change. Hispanic and Latino students will be a larger group within our university system. That's partly because of the nature of ethnic distribution in California. But we do have all groups represented within our university system. So it's a pretty large system from that perspective. The other thing that I want to show you is, Michelle showed you a graph about this UC system. Again, we're spread out all across the state, starting from San Diego in the bottom to all the way to Humboldt, which is closer to the Oregon border. And we have 23 campuses. And the mission is largely to serve the campus community or the community where the campus is located. So that's the initial, the thrust of where we are at. I work in the Chancellor's office, which is down in the bottom in Long Beach. And we are at the system level trying to do something which is similar to what Michelle just alluded to. And so let me go to, we need to measure education from an impact perspective. So what you find is that as a state university, we receive monies from the campus, from the state, California. But for every dollar that the state spends on us, we return about almost $7 to the state. And that's something that we do take very good pride in. We also contribute to the economy in terms of employment, also in terms of how much we generate for the state of California. So this is something from an impact perspective is very, very important for us. So what is this project that we are doing? Sayemji pointed out very eloquently about what we are trying to do here, and Michelle kind of reinforced that. What I did, and this goes back to Swaraj, I think I met him in AIEA in February, and he talked about this, and we started chatting, and it was a pleasure to meet Dr. Sayem outside of the Zoom call and in person, but we did talk internally about what we need to be doing as a system. So instead of having an individual CSU campus kind of going and looking at credit evaluations, we said that the entire system should be doing this. And so from the Chancellor's office, I was trying to see how we can initiate a policy. So we did this. I made a presentation to the Academic Senate of the entire system and talked about this. I borrowed your slides. I hoped I did a decent enough job, but I took that slides that you presented and talked to my Academic Senate. They gave me the green light to go ahead and talk to the General Education Committee, which is a sub-body of this. And so we will have, this is something that, we'll wait to clap on this one because I want to make sure that we get this right. because I feel like this is important, and so we are going to do that. We will, the second level of presentation will happen to the general education body, and the eventual idea is that we will have credit transfers available. We can eliminate the SAT requirement, and certainly from what I have talked to a few of the CSU campuses, they already offer scholarships, and so that's something that is also important. Before coming here, I was checking to see how many students are applying to come to the CSU. We have about 45% of our international applications this year is from India. So this is something that is very, very important. And so I think that this is a part of the job that I'm trying to do, is to kind of get to that next step. And hopefully by next IC3, we'll have a big release coming up. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shankar. And we'll open the floor for a couple of questions if you have. And Swaraj, in the end, I would want you to close the session. That's a surprise. Yeah. Yeah, please. Please introduce yourself.
This is Michael de Cruz, the principal of Stepping Stones High School, Aurangabad. Sir, this is to you. The admission to universities all begin with the +2 courses ending. But what is the CBSE doing? Your NEP says 9 to 12 must be in schools. But I think you are very well aware of it. There was someone who discussed in the morning, the coaching class institution is about 96,000 crores business. And there are students after class 10 who are taking admission into ghost colleges, ghost attendance, and not attending schools. And not all of them get a good ranking in the NEET or the JEE. And in the end, they don't end up even performing well to get into a good university. So what steps is the CBSE taking to see that our schools retain our students for 11 and 12?
Yeah. A very, very valid question, very, very important question. Say, first of all, we all school people should understood this thing, that education, school education is not meant for cracking some entrance examination. It is meant for developing a human being. Okay. Parents also should understand this thing, that no, we don't want that mother is leaving the home, going to the quota, staying with the child for 6 years, and then dreaming that he would be into IIT. Why only into IIT? They could be of better places also, for which I am over here today. So from our side, we should try our best that the quality education, which is your initiative, that should continue in your schools, in our schools, and we should plead for our education, because one time will come, there is a critical point for each and everything. One time will come when the country will feel that no, the school education is important one, and students should remain in the school to learn a lot of other things than that of the knowledge of the subject, and thereafter they will be entering into the life. Now the another thing, as far as elimination of the coaching culture is concerned, I am in touch with Government of India, and you can see from past 5-6 years that the Government of India had tried to have more and more number of professional colleges across the country. Therefore, at one point of time when we were having only 65,000 seats for the medical MBBS courses, now we are having more than 1 lakh seats. So the country is developing, it is in the developing shape, more courses are coming into picture, and IC3 is going to play a vital role when they will guide that not only the medical education or the engineering is the profession, but there are many other professions also. And all the students or all the alumni of these courses who are at the top, they are at par only. So let support to the school education work in the same direction. When we all will work, streamline will, everything will fall in the streamline, and we will contribute for the development of the human being, not the machines, basically. It is the later part of a human being to develop the machine, but we want that human being should remain human being, which could be done by you people.
Sir, just to add to you, in fact, I wish to compliment the IC3 committee. our
Yeah.
school. And I spoke on behalf of the largest schools in the cause of education in my city. But there are many schools, top schools who 11 and 12 have shut down because of this culture. But because of our career counseling, which is very robust, we got nearly 200 admissions in class 11.
Yeah.
Only because of the career counseling that went on, convincing kids that school is the best place to continue your education.
Yeah.
If we can quickly have 2 more questions. Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Permitted to ask a state-specific question, this is, because CBSE scheme of studies says flexibility is given to the students to choose the subjects. But here in Telangana, recently we got a circular from state government, Telugu is mandatory for appearing for the board examinations. So because as you are available on this platform today, I thought I'll get it clarified. It is the concern of all the principals of Telangana state. Thank you so much, sir.
In fact, though it is not related to this forum, but 22nd we had the governing board meeting wherein this issue has been discussed in detail. We are in touch with the government of India. We are in touch with the government of Telangana also. We'll see how this issue could be resolved. And but for the time now, time being, what we are trying that because secondary they have to offer the Telugu language, and in 9th they haven't studied. So we will be making the special arrangement just to see that how many students are over there, and if we have to make any preparation for the conduct of examination, though already we are offering the Telugu language in our board. So let's hope for the best because the education is the concurrent part of the concurrence of the Constitution of India. Therefore, this issue is over there, and this issue will also be resolved. When the effect of pandemic, this is not the issue at all.
So one last question. Okay.
I'll request you ask the question which are pertaining to this
session.
thing.
Yes.
For you, I can organize a separate question answer session.
Online, it can be done anytime.
So it was relevant to what you spoke about, everything today. You said that we are requesting the foreign universities to give the credit and transfer and everything, sir. Why can't we implement the same system for our Indian universities? For example, we are talking about the CUT, we are talking about NEET, we are talking about JEE exams. Why can't some credit be given to the CBSE marks there? I understand making a human being and human capital, everything is fine. But at the end of the day, it is important that, child gets a good career path ahead.
Yeah.
And CBSE has to have some credit being given there as well.
Yeah. No, basically this issue is already with us, and I had a talk with the Vice Chancellor of Delhi University and Mr. Vineet Joshi, who is the Director General NTA, and the other people also. And therefore, what has been introduced now, that inter-C merit will be decided based on the marks secured in +2 examination. That is the first thing. First announcement from my side, this will be done this year. Now the second thing is, because the different boards are having the different scheme of studies, scheme of examination, and there are certain other issues also, which are the local issues, government-related issues. We are trying to resolve them, and therefore the government of India has made one committee who is equating all the boards, CBSE and other boards at par, and everyone has to follow the same route that way. So when we will be having the same scheme of study, same scheme of examination, then this issue will be resolved. I will take you to JEE when we were taking 40% weightage of the CBSE score in the JEE examination. It was very, very difficult to bring at par to all the other boards. Though earlier we had the BITS planning where the toppers were put in at the same platform, and then the result was equated. So the work is going on. Let's hope for the best. This is the first year this was required, and in future we will certainly see that what problems are being faced, they will also be resolved.
So before I invite Swaraj to give the closing remarks, I would request all of you to scan the QR code and fill up the form. You could leave your queries with us, and Dr. Bharadwaj will, and the committee members, as committee members, will ensure that we do get back to you with the answers to your queries. Swaraj, if I can request you.
Thank you so
This is a surprise. We were not planning for this, but it does give me a chance. I have been speaking with many of you individually, and so this gives me a platform. Yes, and virtually, we've been talking about how more and more, and this is not just about the U.S. The U.S. is, we've started on that front, but I had some Canadian friends at the back, and if you think we can clear the pathways, clear the barriers for these CBSE students, I happen to be one of them. I started, from first grade to 8th grade, I was a CBSE student, and I vouch for the rigor. It's a very rigorous curriculum. My contribution to this project really has been, this was discussed at the last IC3. It started as a seed at the last IC3. I've been very fortunate to work with some really dynamic people on this, and my real treat has been to have chart in Dr. Bharadwaj's office. I never thought that as a CBSE student, someday I'll be able to enjoy that. But the ability to clear this pathway and these barriers for students from 27,000 plus schools, that is really the opportunity to make a huge impact. And I really request our university delegates to join in this effort. If at your university, you can clear these barriers for these CBSE students, if you do have some kind of a way that you have established some policy for other curriculums, tell us what we can do. The data is available. Dr. Bharadwaj has said that data, and we got it signed, that will be provided for free, right? So if you need to do some data analysis and you want CBSE data to validate that thing, we are happy to provide that on our end. But we started with a few, who joined, and the idea was that if they can show a pathway, then more of us will join, and this is the proof of that. So we are really hoping that, I hope, did that work, the scan? Okay, fantastic. So if you do want to wish to join this effort and initiative, please share your details through this form. And what we will do is we'll keep you informed of the progress that we are making. And then if you can take it up at your university to establish some policies, we'd be happy to pull you along and provide that as a proof to other universities who can then use that as a case study to create opportunities for these CBSE students. So thank you again for joining this session. It was a full house. What I would request is we have a student who was desperately trying to share feedback forms. So now I will ask him to share those feedback forms with you. If you can just put, it's going to take you 30 seconds, but share your feedback. Also, if you would like to share specific feedback with any of the presenters, there is a gratitude card that says, thank you for sharing your wisdom. And this is how your session helped us, or share your ideas. That's what the card looks like. You can actually do it for any of the sessions that you attend. So please ask the student volunteer for that, and he will just pass these around there. So thank you again. We will end now. We still have 27 minutes for networking, or 23 minutes for networking outside. There should be some refreshments. And so thank you again.